Good afternoon, 4th grade. Today we're going to continue reading in Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, Chapter 34. Before we get started, we have a quick write. It says, have you ever received a gift that you weren't expecting? What was the gift and how did you respond? Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the paragraph. Our focus question for today is, how did the village of Moonrain get its name? In our vocabulary words, the first one is barren. That's when there isn't any produce or vegetation. Draw a line to this picture. Our next vocabulary word is brew. That's when you make coffee or tea with hot water. Draw a line to this picture. The last word is hope. That is when you are expecting something to happen. And draw a picture to the sign that says, don't stop believing. Turn the page. Open up your book to page 182, and we are going to use our CSPS strategy as we read chapter 34. And remember, Minli has just met the twins, Afu and Dafu, and their grandfather has met them, and they are, he is getting dragon better. He's getting dragon better, and he sent Minli and the twins back to the village. We're at the top of page 182. Which one of you is Afu and which one is Dafu? Minli asked the twins. My name's Minli. The children laughed. Their giggles were like bells playing in unison. I'm Afu, the girl said. He's Dafu, but you can just call us Da-Afu because we are always together. Everyone does. Minli smiled. Exhaustion from the long night of worry made her feel heavy and clumsy, but the children's happiness seemed to carry her. Their every word seemed to be mixed with merriness. Their laughter pushed her towards the cheerful yellow patch in the distance, and as they approached the spot, Minli realized that the yellow was flowers. In front of them was a land full of blooming trees. The trees were heavy with bright blossoms, and as the wind blew through the branches, golden flowers showered down like rain. As they reached the trees and breathed in the spicy scent of flowers, Minli gasped. It's beautiful, she said. The children laughed again, and the brilliant red of their clothes and the golden yellow flowers of the trees seemed to make Minli's eyes dazzle with color. But their brilliance was in contrast to the stone rooftops of the village below. The homes looked as though they had been hewn from the cold, harsh rocks of the mountain. And Minli saw that the flowering trees were the only things that grew easily from the unforgiving rough soil. The boy saw Minli's gaze. That's our home, he told her, the village of Moonrain. We'll stop right there because we have information about our characters and the setting. If you look at the bottom of page 182, underline that quote about Minli. And in box 1, we would write down, Minli and Da-Afu are walking back to the village of Moonrain where the twins live. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, we will write down this quote at the bottom of page 182. Minli smiled. The exhaustion from the long night of worry had made her feel heavy and clumsy, but the children's happiness seemed to carry her. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the setting. For the setting, we would look on page 183. We know that they are on their way to the village of Moonrain, and the village of Moonrain is covered with yellow flowers. But down here it says the soil doesn't grow anything else. And so in box 2A we would write, the village of Moonrain is covered in beautiful yellow blossoms. But the soil is rough and doesn't grow anything. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. And for the quote, we would write down this quote at the bottom of page 183 that says, Minli saw the flowering trees were the only things that grew easily from the unforgiving rough soil. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. We're at the bottom of page 183. The village of Moonrain? Minli asked. Turn the page. That's a strange name. Why is your village named after the flowering trees? Why isn't your village named after the flowering trees? It is, Da'afu said. And we're going to skip this section because we're going to do it in parallel teaching. And I want you to turn to the bottom of page 187. We're going to keep reading. It says, so these seeds rain down from the sky every night? Minli asked. Well, every night there's a moon, the girl said. That is why we call it moon rain. Turn the page. And you don't know why? Minli asked. Even though she was tired, she could not help being curious. Let's stop right there. I want you to underline that first sentence on page 188. It tells us the problem. In box 3A, you would write, Minli does not have a big problem in this chapter. Instead, she is curious about why the moon rains seeds on the village. Each night there's a moon. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, you would write down this sentence in the second part of box 3. It says, and you don't know why? Minli asked. Even though she was tired, she could not help being curious. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. It says, both children shook their heads, and before Minli could ask more questions, the boy pointed. Minli followed his hands and saw crimson gate doors painted with a cheerful greeting. We are here, he cried. Come on, we're home. And if we stop right there, we know that Minli doesn't get an answer to her question, but she does arrive at the twins' house. And so in box 4A, we would write, Minli does not get an answer to her question because they arrive at the twins' house. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the quote. And for the quote, we would write down this last sentence on page 188. We are here, he cried. Come on, we are home. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. For the paragraph, you will answer the question, how is the village of Moonrain similar to Minli's village near Fruitless Mountain? How is it different? So you need to go back and look at the boxes for the setting to help you figure out the answer.